Hi guys. All right, today I'm going to go over Wednesday's lessons. So in math, let's start off. We were practicing multiplying using expanded form, and we looked at our book on, we started off on page 235 and did section 7.4, and then their independent work was on page 240. Then they worked in eSpark, and then we continued to do some of our small group problems together during our small group time. And so with the lesson today was all about taking a larger number. So we were practicing, these were with three-digit numbers. So let's say we have 543 times 5. It's taking this larger factor, so 543, and we're using the distributive property to multiply this. So we're going to put 543 in expanded form, and each one of those is going to be multiplied by 5. So it looks like 5 times 500 plus 5 times 40 plus 5 times 3. So when we do that, the 5 right here is in the hundreds place. It has a value of 500. The 4 is in the tens place. It has a value of 40. And the 3 is in the ones place, so it has a value of just 3. And so all of those are getting multiplied. So we're doing 5 times that, 5 times that, and 5 times that. So distributive property would look like this here. And sometimes that's the actual answer. So sometimes they'll just want you to recognize that this is what this equals. And so you won't actually have to get your product, which is your answer here. You'll just have to recognize that property. If you want to get the actual answer, then you need to take it a step further, and or 2 steps further, and we need to actually multiply this out. So here, 5 times 500, I know that 5 times 5 is 25, and then with the 2 zeros, and then we have 5 times 4, which is 20, with 1 0 for 200. And I'm lining these up because my next step is going to be to add them. And then 5 times 3, which is 15. And so when I add all that up, 0, 0, and 5, I'm going to put them over here, gives me 5. 0, 0, 1 gives me 1. 5 and 2 is 7. And bring down my 2. So 2,715 is the answer for that. And so to check myself, I'm going to go over the 5 has a value of 500, the 4, the 40, the 3, the 3, and then I'm multiplying each of these by 5, 5, and 5, so all that looks good. Then I'm going to double check my multiplication. 5 times 5, 25, 2 zeros, 2 zeros. 5 times 4 is 20 with 1 0, that matches, and 5 times 3, 15. Then I'm going to check my addition. 0, 0, 5 equals 5. 0, 0, 1 equals 1. 5 and 2 is 7, and my 2. So I checked over my work, so I'm looking good with that. All right, let's try another one. All right, if we have, let's say we have 682 times 3. Again, we're going to take this larger factor and we're going to put it in its expanded form, and every single one of those, we're going to multiply it by 3. So we're going to take 3 times the 6 has a value of 600 plus the 8. So 3 times 8, which has a value of 80, plus the 2 is in the ones place, so it's going to be 3 times 2. Then when we're ready to take it all the way, we're going to multiply these out. So everything that's in the parentheses, it's like that's hugging it all of that information is like its own little problem within a bigger problem. So we have to do all these little problems, and then we're going to piece them together using addition. So 3 times 6 is 18 with 2 zeros. 3 times 8 is 24 with 1 zero for 240. And 3 times 2 is 6. And when I add those up, 0, 0, 6 is 6. 0 and 4 is 4. 8 and 2 is 10. I'm going to regroup, and 2. All right, so 2046 is what this equals here. So again, just making sure that these numbers right here come from that expanded form. This number here came from what it is that I'm multiplying, and then just double checking all of that and making sure that you added it up correctly, and that is it. So we did some word problems with these where students were doing these, they were solving it like this. There was one of them where this right here, again, they didn't have to take it all the way. They just stopped there with that distributive property. And so that right there was their answer. The rest of them, they needed to multiply out all the way. But let me know if you have any questions on that. But that's what we practiced in class. And then their answers all got recorded in this math Monday through Friday. There's a Wednesday slide for the math. Then in Google Classroom, or not Google Classroom, in Seesaw for reading, we did our small group reading here with our 3D printing story. The students finished up, a lot of them turned in this today. This is due by Friday, the Hansel and Gretel story. They're recording themselves reading each page. And then our actual lesson is here. So let me find the page where we left off. All right, so today, all right, alliteration. So with alliteration is the repeating sound of beginning words. So this again is, we continue talking about some of the vocabulary, and then we practice seeing it in different poems. And so with alliteration, you have the repeated sound at the beginning of the word. So here, big baboons bounce down the boulevard, that repetition of that B sound. Here with the T, this is called tigers. Tim, the terrifying tiger, tiptoes through the tangled trees, his twitching tail thumping his terrible teeth, terrifying turtles who tumble away. So these here, almost every single word starts with that, or has that letter that goes with that sound that you keep hearing. This one here is an example where it's just kind of random throughout in the lines. It's not taking over the whole poem. And so it says, there's a polar bear in our refrigerator. He likes it cold, or he likes it because it's cold in there. With his seat in the meat and his face in the fish and his big hairy paws in the buttery dish, he's nibbling the noodles, he's munching the rice, he's slurping the soda, he's licking the ice, and he lets out a roar, and if you open the door and it gives me a scare to know he's in there, that polary bear in our Frigidaire. All right, so cause it's cold, face in the fish, nibbling the noodles, slurping the soda. So they've got that repetition within the line. So it's a little bit different, but same thing, just that beginning sound repeating itself. A hyperbole, these are fun because these are extreme exaggerations. All right, so here's a couple examples. I'm so hungry I could eat a horse. And so this is just talking about, you're really, really hungry, you're starving, you're so hungry you could eat a horse. You're not actually going to eat a horse. Please don't eat a horse. You're just you're just exaggerating that you're super, super hungry. I have a million things to do. Her brain is the size of a pea, or when pigs fly. So these are just those extreme exaggerations to get your point across. All right. Repetition. So repetition, when we have a line, a phrase, or a word that's repeated, and it's often repeated to show importance or to give emphasis to something. So this is called falling up. It says, I tripped on my shoelace and I fell up to the rooftop, up over the town, up past the treetops, up over the mountains, up where the colors blend into the sounds. But it got me so dizzy when I looked around, I got sick to my stomach and I threw down. All right, so repetition. And then we stopped here with concrete poems. So these are fun too. These can also be called shape poems because if you look at them, they're all different shapes. And whatever the topic of the poem is, that's usually the shape that you find it. So right away, we know that this is going to be about dogs. This is going to be about rain. This one here, it says, let me see, it starts off, I was walking in a circle when I spied a piece of paper covered with a pretty picture colored yellow, green, and red. As I picked it up, I noticed that it also had some writing, and I knew that I should read it. This is what the writing said. All right, so here, this circle shape there. So concrete poems, shape poems, they're in the shape of whatever the topic is. All right, and then that's where we stopped. And then again, students had this independent work here with some activities in it with poetry. They had the Hansel and Gretel, they had the reading small group that we did, and then also eSpark. And then in writing, we got almost everybody's introductions checked. So those are looking really good, and I am super, super happy. I'm just seeing quite a bit of progress with it. So everybody's doing a really nice job with the introduction. So everybody keep up that great work. Then today we talked about commas in a series as our grammar practice. So commas in a series, the rule is that we're going to use commas to separate things that have, like when we're listing it, 3 or more things in a series. So here I like to eat apples, comma, grapes, comma, and bananas for snack. So with this one, the things that they're listing are apples, grapes, and bananas. So that's 3 items. So they need commas to separate them. If it was just 2, like if I just said I like to eat apples and grapes, then I don't need the comma to separate those items. It's only if I need only if I have 3 or more things. So we did these. So here, for example, we will need clubs, balls, and tees to play golf. So your list consists of clubs, balls, and tees. So that's 3 things. So we have to separate those by commas. And then this also had some capitalization error, and each one of these, except for number 4, already had it, punctuation at the end as well. So capital W for the we will need clubs, comma, balls, comma, and tees to play golf. So we rewrote each sentence and made sure that that was done correctly. Then students started working on the body. So with the body, again, our prompt is write about a favorite gift you have received from someone and explain what the gift is and why it's so special to you. So they're writing the body part. So we've already done the introduction. So this is what comes after. So with the body, you have to be very specific to what they want you to write about. Just like with the introduction, we looked very, very closely at what it said in this first sentence. The body, if you look at this second sentence right here, it's very specific about what they want you to, like how they want you to respond. So it says, explain what the gift is. That's one part. And then the second part is why it is so special to you. So the body can consist of 2 paragraphs, one being about what the gift is, And then the second paragraph of the body could be about why it's so special to you. So just really looking at this and making sure that you're addressing it. Students were trying to give reasons why it was their favorite gift. And I told them, I said, that's not going to cut it because that's not what they're asking you to do. It's very, very specific. So making sure that they're responding correctly to that. All right. So then there's another quick write here where they can write about 5 to 10 minutes about the photo here. And then we stop there. And then in science today, we did our condensation lab. And please let me know if you need me to send the notes on that. I have them at school, but I can take a photo and send them. So just let me know if you need um, the information on that. But what we did, let me draw it out for you. All right, so we had our cup. And our cup, we put water in it, and we put ice, and we let it sit out for a while. And our cup, we put food coloring in. So the inside of the cup, like mine was blue. So everything inside was blue. And so we made some guesses because we had some background knowledge. We knew that like I fuss at Kian all the time about, using a coaster and not putting his drink down on the wood coffee table or anything like that because it'll mess up the coffee table. And so we were talking about, how drinks on the outside, they can get, wet on the outside and start dripping with water and everything. So I asked the kids, I said, if I put blue food coloring in here, what color do you think is going to start to form on the outside? And they said blue. And so once the cup had sat out for a while, we took a white tissue paper and I rubbed all on the outside of the cup, and it was completely clear. And it was just really, really wet from all the water on the outside. And so that's actually water vapor that's in the air when the warm air hits the cold. We've got the ice in here, so the water in here and everything, the cup is really cold. So when it hits that coldness, it condenses, and that's when you get that forming, it's called condensation. So condensation forming on the outside of your cup. So that was what our lab was about today. And then we're going to do the second part tomorrow. So students need a sandwich bag. They need a Sharpie, a dark color Sharpie. They need some water, their food coloring that we used today, and some tape to hold up. We're going to put it on a window. So I told them to ask kiddos, ask your parents permission what kind of tape. Some had like duct tape and stuff, and duct tape will leave like a sticky residue. So I don't know if you want that on your windows. Painter's tape works really well, or the masking tape comes off real clean. So stuff like Scotch tape may not, because with water in the bag, it may not be it may not hold it up enough. So that might be a problem. So painter's tape, masking tape, something like that, or if you have something to clean up the window after real easily, duct tape's fine. So just ask permission. All right, so we'll continue the second part of this tomorrow. And then I told students to be looking around your house for a good window that gets a lot of sunlight, because we need the sun, we need the heat from the sun to make this happen. So again, let me know if you need the notes, and I'll send them to you. I have them at school. And then while students did their social studies, I kept going over the introductions, and we did that for our intervention time and our social studies time. I was continuing to look at those. So the social studies is right here. Students did the page for Wednesday. And then we also did an activity. Oh, I forgot this. The commas in a series. The web link right here, or if you're using a phone, the mobile link. This here is going to be for a grade, so make sure that that gets completed and that you're happy with your grade. If you're not happy with your grade the first time, you can do it again until you are feeling good about that. So that, I think, let me double check, make sure I didn't forget anything that we did. Students also did more eSpark at the end of the day. So when I check that website for progress, I should see everybody should have logged in by now. And I moved the link under, it's right here under small group, and when I'm done, eSpark right here. So all you do is you click on this link and you sign in with Google, and it takes you straight there to our class information. All right. Oh, social studies had the videos here as well that go along with the lesson today. And that was it. All right, guys. Thank you for watching, and let me know if you have any questions or if you need those science notes. All right. Have a good evening.